Hi, so in my amateur radio journey I said that I was going to get a radio scanner or an SDR. That was quite some time ago. Well, here is a radio scanner. This is a Uniden UBC75XLT to be exact. If you were in a particular Discord server called the EAR Society that I am a member of, you might have seen a photo of me holding this right next to my face and talked with me a little bit about, well, how it could work. But let's show you exactly that. How do you use a radio scanner and how well does this particular one work? Okay, so I try to keep all the objects related to this video in one shot. This is the Uniden UBC75XLT, the radio scanner I got right here. This is the antenna that came with it. This is some paper that's going to become important later. It's not the official manual, it's just something I had to make up. And a USB to mini USB cable. What fucking year is this? But anyway, that tells me this device has rechargeable batteries, and I'm actually quite happy with these batteries being just replaceable nickel metal hydride batteries, which means that you can replace them with the capacity to greater. I can even put AA batteries in a pinch. Okay, alkalis. Now, so back with a little clip to which I attach the paperwork like this. On the top sit the main control button, the headphone jack and the aerial port, onto which the aerial would be put. So here we've got the power button, the mode selection button. So this is for channel lockout, which is used if you don't want a particular channel from a service or custom programming to show up in your scan. We've got a keypad for typing in the channel numbers and frequencies, which you can then fine tune or scan around with the main control. We've got a function button and a little speaker here as well, which is, it's okay for a strong signal, but in many cases I would end up using headphones or external speakers instead. Here we go, turn it on. As you can see, we went straight into scanning mode, and I've programmed in about 31 channels, which it's currently scanning through. I can press this top button, the hold button, to listen to a channel if there's anything interesting there. And then if I don't hear anything but I think or know that there's something interesting there, I just turn down the squelch by using function, click the main control, and there's squelch. Just clicking it without pressing the function button first activates the volume control first, and I did test it, goes quite loud. So let's set it at a typical listening level. That is a battery indicator. It indicates that I need to charge it up with this, which plugs into either a charger or into a computer, you know, which can also do remote control and programming things. Or I can even replace the batteries with some AA's instead. So, but before I do that, the search button goes through the entire frequency spectrum to find some semblance of noise on there. So find something. You use the control, main control button at the top, to go up and down, and then you press hold to scroll through the frequencies manually. You can filter that for all frequency search though by using function search, and here we'll go to the emergency services group. This was before the introduction of C2000 in the Netherlands, so that's not very useful. Freenet, which is a German thing, again not that useful. PMR446, which I can imagine there's a bit more traffic on, especially around supermarkets and stuff like that. Marine band, air band, CB radio, and amateur radio, the 10 meter band. So in order to go through a channel, you would press hold, and then I would press a channel number and press hold again to go to that particular channel. To do with the frequency, I would type in like that and press hold. This is 1 to 1.5 megahertz, which is the airband emergency frequency. There are some buttons here which have miscellaneous levels that I don't really care about too much. And of course on this side it's the USB ports. So as I said before, the USB port can be used for charging and remote control. You would plug it into a power brick, computer, or as I'll be showing here, into this old 10,000 mAh power bank. By the way, the new one that I bought that thought was going to be a bit better in quality and of course capacity actually broke to the point of having to throw it out. It began to bulge a little bit, so I had to deal with what I have. And then you turn it off and it automatically charges the battery. And of course once the battery's fully charged, I presume that's gone. But let's continue with the device with one more button. And that is the program or E button. Normally it does nothing, but when you press function program, that allows you to select a channel number. I'm going to 32, then press program, type in the frequency. Let's do like I don't know, just type in something random and then press the program button again to confirm, or you press clear to clear it out. And by pressing hold you would exit programming mode and you would be able to type in any frequency in its compatibility range, which is UHF, VHF and high HF, and it will just go straight through it without programming it into a channel number. And you can use the button, the main control, to run through them. Let's set this aside for a moment and talk about the antenna that came along with it, as well as a tip when it comes to programming. So here we have the aerial that came with this particular scanner, and I think many of us like it. It uses a standard BNC connector on the bottom that just plugs right in like so. However, this aerial is bullshit. It's what's referred to as a rubber ducky. So it's just a coil of wire inside that is connected to the BNC connector and no real ground. You can literally turn around the BNC, which tells me how flimsy this is. Which is why I intend to get a proper telescopic aerial instead. But at the moment of recording this video, that is being delivered still. So I was barely able to hear some airband and very few marine band communications going on this device. And when I did hear something, it was very faintish. I had to use headphones a lot. Here are some other radio scanning tips that may or may not be relevant. Radio scanners work best outdoors. When you're indoors, especially with a lot of AHR glass around you, you might find interference. Make sure to keep the aerial upright when you're scanning an omnidirectional or airband source. If you're scanning a signal that has a high directionality, you may wish to use a directional aerial. And finally, don't be afraid to walk around a little bit. Radio signals can be very location specific, so to say. Like you would hear something only in one place and not in another. You might have to walk around to find the signals that you're looking for, especially when it comes to things like jammer or airband. Here's a little programming tip that I tease, right? Make a piece of paper that contains your frequencies. So like a little piece of paper that you would handwrite every single frequency on that you want to listen to, called point of interest, at least in my books, and keep that with your radio scanner. That way, if you want to keep your logs or reprogram the device, you know which frequency is which. Speaking of those logs, that is oops, where the peppermint USB drive I made before came in. It contains the amateur radio transmission software, it contains Firefox for some lightweight browsing, and it contains OpenOffice. Now I use that program to write my amateur radio logs. And if I were to just have the frequency, I wouldn't know what to do with it. But if I have this table of frequencies I scanned through, then I know which one is which, and perhaps I can even trace it back to its owner and send a little confirmation card, like a QSL card or something. And anyway, that is it for now for the beginnings, but I do hope with the new aerial to get a lot more use out of it. Did I talk about the telescopic antenna I was about to order and that was about to get delivered 2 days ago or 1 day ago? Yes, of course I did. And the problem was something arrived. It was just that what arrived was this box opened up with the package in it that contained an earbud for use with clip-on PMR radios. So I immediately decided to return it to the store and see what was going on. And I'm gonna get my money back, or my payment's gonna get cancelled or anything, so yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment. And of course, I also hope to see you another time. Bye bye! I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, please give a thumbs up and share this video with all your friends, and perhaps consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.